Bradley Cooper is probably waiting to be subpoenaed.
because Diddy's currently in a scandal.
The thing is, the more she shows how happy she is and that she moved on from all of this and that she is out celebrating life, the worse it is for her lawsuit.
Rolling your eyes at yet another Blake Lively drama? Well, hold on, because this time it's Gigi Hadid who's dropping some serious truth bombs. Live on air, no less. It seems Gigi may have decided she didn't want to be associated with Blake after Taylor Swift essentially ghosted her.
In New York, the day after this event took place, one of Blake's besties had a 30th birthday, Gigi Hadid.
What Gigi did was enough to make Blake wish she had stayed home instead of facing the fallout. So here's the scoop. Gigi Hadid and Blake Lively used to be inseparable in New York City. Just a day after a significant event, Gigi celebrated her 30th birthday, and guess who was notably absent?
So it's not that you don't want to be out and seen out in public because she did go to that event the day before. I think, maybe Gigi Hadid didn't want her to show up.
That's right, Blake Lively. Once the definition of friendship goals, these two were always spotted together at red carpets, brunches, and social media posts that screamed BFFs forever. But now, that picture-perfect duo is starting to crumble, and it's not subtle at all.
Because both her and Bradley Cooper is probably waiting to be subpoenaed.
Blake didn't even bother to show up to Gigi's milestone birthday bash, which was packed with A-listers, including Gigi's boyfriend, Bradley Cooper, and Anne Hathaway with her husband. Let's think about this for a moment.
Blake Lively added a special thanks to Bradley Cooper in the end credits of It Ends With Us. And as you know, she brought Gigi Hadid to the premiere, and I think she also had like a pre-screening where Bradley Cooper was seen at. So yeah, so why wasn't she at that birthday party?
Gigi Hadid, the supermodel and queen of the fashion world, celebrating a major birthday? And where's Blake? Not there. It raises questions. Was she invited? If so, why didn't she show up? It's odd for someone considered one of your best friends to skip such an important occasion.
Everyone's like, what are they trying to prove? It seems so desperate to show that, look, we're so in love and we want to show the world how unaffected we are.
Could it be a coincidence? Perhaps. Or maybe Gigi has finally had enough of Blake's antics. Gigi has a history of cutting ties with toxic friendships, as seen with Taylor Swift, so it's not out of character for her to distance herself from someone she feels is dragging her down.
Anyways, there's all these photos of her, and then there's a video of her where she's like directing, of course, her husband and where to stand, and she's taking photos and waving to all the fans and posing with fans and taking selfies and like, hey, we're so happy and we're super popular.
It's not that Blake doesn't want to be seen in public. She attended an event just the day before. So could it be that Gigi didn't want her there? When Blake didn't show up, it wasn't just a casual oversight. It was a significant snub.
Also, another celebrity coming out against Blake. According to Daily Mail, Selena Gomez, who is really good friends with Taylor Swift, had warned Taylor Swift about Blake Lively years ago.
Gigi's birthday was the event of the moment, and Blake's absence spoke volumes. We all know Blake has been entangled in legal dramas, particularly with Justin Baldoni, and the media circus surrounding her has been hard to ignore. Perhaps people like Gigi, who once supported her, are starting to see Blake for who she really is.
And of course, now that we know what happened, when she dragged Taylor Swift into this, Selena Gomez is like, yeah, Taylor, I told you so. Stay away from Blake. Anyways, I don't know if this is based on rumors or whatever it is, but it's interesting to see now how so many people are taking a step back from Blake Lively.
It seems Gigi doesn't want to be associated with Blake as her world unravels. As more people begin to slip away, it's only a matter of time before others follow Gigi's lead. Who wants to stick around when someone is on a public meltdown tour? In a twist of irony, Blake added a special thanks to Bradley Cooper in the end credits of It Ends With Us, and she even brought Gigi to the premiere.
Blake said to him, kiss me one more time. And that's when we see them kiss each other, and then she gets up and have the speech. I didn't make much of this.
So why wasn't she at Gigi's birthday party? Now let's dive into the chaos that is Blake and Ryan Reynolds' relationship. After Gigi's birthday snub, Blake and Ryan went all out with their public displays of affection, almost as if they were trying to prove something.
Had an article out that with a long list of Blake's victims of who she's bullied throughout her career.
They flew to Wales for a football match with Ryan's team, Wrexham, and the photos of them kissing and holding hands were everywhere. It was so over the top that it felt painful to watch. They looked like they had just stepped out of a rom-com, practically begging the world to believe they were still the perfect couple.
Blake Lively was trying to threaten these harassment claims, and ultimately that's what came to fruition. But so in that thread, there was a bullet point that mentioned that there was a private screening that Blake Lively hosted at her penthouse in New York with a bunch of her famous friends. And so we were wondering, who were those famous friends?
But the harder they tried to convince everyone, the more obvious it became that something was seriously wrong. It's as if the universe was giving them a standing ovation for their desperate attempts to control the narrative. Everyone was left wondering, what are they trying to prove?
Hypocrisy of Ryan Reynolds calling Justin Baldoni a predator while he practices these lines with his 7-year-old daughter. Before I play the clip about his daughter Inez, who plays Kid Pool, just a little reminder, in Ryan Reynolds' motion to dismiss that he filed a few days ago, it literally states, genuinely, perhaps passionately, believes that Mr. Baldoni's behavior is reflective of a predator.
Their cringeworthy public displays were unnecessary, yet they thought it would make everyone forget about the growing storm surrounding them. Here's the kicker. The more they flaunted their perfect life, the more they exposed how messed up everything really was. It's like they were trying to sell us a beautiful picture of their relationship, but we all know that when you have to prove how perfect you are, you're usually far from it.
Ryan Reynolds writing this script for his 7-year-old daughter and practicing with her over and over again, where she literally says, when I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's D out of your mouth, is disgusting. I don't know which father would feel comfortable with that.
The more Blake tried to show how happy she was, the worse it looked for her ongoing legal issues. Their desperate need for validation didn't make their problems disappear, it only made them worse. The louder they screamed, "We're fine!" the more it echoed how much they were falling apart.
Maybe Gigi Hadid didn't want her to show up.
The world saw it, and now Blake and Ryan's clumsy efforts to salvage their image are just adding fuel to the fire. There are countless photos of Blake directing Ryan on where to stand, waving to fans and posing for selfies, all while trying to project an image of happiness and popularity.
Guess who wasn't there? One of her BFFs, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if she was invited or not, but I think it's weird that you don't show up in one of your best friend's 30th birthday party.
But when you're truly unaffected by the noise, you don't need to shout about it. For Blake and Ryan, every desperate attempt to stay in the spotlight only made their situation messier. The cracks in their facade are showing, and no matter how hard they try to patch them up, it's too late.
I think Gigi Hadid does not want to be seen at all with her friend Blake Lively or her ex-friend.
The narrative surrounding Blake is shifting, and she's been accused of abusing the justice system while trying to maintain her public persona. In a moment that raised eyebrows, Blake told Ryan, "Kiss me one more time," before they shared a kiss, and then she went on to give a speech.
Also, we know that Blake and Ryan flew to Wales on Saturday. They were there for a football match with Ryan Reynolds' football team, Wrexham, and there were pictures everywhere of them kissing and showing PDA in public. It was so ridiculous.
This moment, while seemingly innocent, is layered with implications about their relationship dynamics. Selena, who has always kept her circle tight and her relationships private, was right to warn Taylor.
The thing is, the more she shows how happy she is and that she moved on from all of this and that she is out celebrating life, the worse it is for her lawsuit.
Blake's public persona appears to be a carefully constructed facade, hiding accusations of manipulation and her ongoing legal battles. Ryan Reynolds' reaction to Blake's speech, where she alluded to Justin Baldoni's legal issues, was surprising. People magazine's headline, highlighting Ryan's admiration for Blake,
that she's been lying, she's abusing the justice system.
And our role is to be the humanities guide to trusted journalism. And so we're the storytellers. We've been telling stories for 100 years.
Only underscores the glaring hypocrisy. By keeping Taylor and other powerful names in her corner, Blake tries to paint herself as an innocent party in this drama. But what's happening behind closed doors tells a different story.
Yeah, apparently Selena Gomez found it odd that Taylor Swift is the godmother of all of Blake Lively's children.
It reveals a woman willing to manipulate the media, the legal system, and even her friendships for personal gain. There's a growing list of Blake's victims, those she's bullied throughout her career. If Blake were truly as innocent as she wants us to believe,
I should be there. I need to shine right now. I don't know what that means. Is that something that he trained her in thinking before she was going to have this speech, that that's like what she should be thinking? Because he can't say, I should be there, I should shine right now.
would she involve others in her legal mess? Would she drag Taylor into this storm, knowing it could damage her credibility? The more you look at it, the more it seems Blake is playing the game on her own terms, with little regard for the fallout on others.
Ryan Reynolds reacting to Blake Lively's speech, where she alluded to Justin Baldoni's legal battle. So surprising that People magazine choose this headline, and then the quote that they're basing this article on is, "I'm incredibly in awe of my wife in many ways."
Gigi, no stranger to the intricacies of Hollywood, knows the dangers of getting involved with someone who has a reputation for using others for their own benefit. As Blake's power grew on set, Gigi's uncertainty likely grew with it.
About interviews out there, I'm sure so many journalists are sitting on their interviews with her that they never published because they thought it was awful. I mean, there must be so many more.
If Gigi truly saw the lengths to which Blake would go to control the narrative, it's understandable why she might start to pull away. As Gigi continues to distance herself, it becomes clearer that Blake's relationships are unraveling.
Yeah,
So
like
good.
3 weeks.
I'll say
Yeah,
it.
she saw
I'll be
it
the
a few
review.
weeks ago.
It's amazing.
You gotta pan over to Lily and Atlas. This is a big deal. Get over here. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, and
So
like
good.
3 weeks.
I'll say.
Yeah, she saw
I'll be
it.
the
a few
review.
weeks ago.
It's amazing.
What was once a tight-knit circle of friends is now starting to splinter, and Gigi's exclusion could be just the beginning of more fallout. The manipulative tendencies that Selena warned about are becoming more apparent to those closest to Blake, and one by one, they're starting to peel away.
Like, listen, these are all very powerful people. Their text messages are definitely going to be important. Whatever communication is going to be important, because this could also prove that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds continue to defame Justin Baldoni.
It's not just about one party or one snub. It's about a pattern of behavior that's finally catching up with Blake. Ryan and Blake's parenting choices have also sparked significant controversy, particularly regarding their involvement of their young daughter in a Deadpool skit.
They cut ties with Justin Baldoni at WME when it didn't seem to be a bad time, right? The movie had just done well for Wayfair. It Ends With Us. He had the rights to a second film, so it was, presumably he was going to be profitable in the future. So why would they cut him?
The situation took a sharp turn when it was revealed that they pressured their daughter to perform a line that many found inappropriate for her age. The media has largely ignored the controversy or downplayed it, focusing instead on the cute family aspect rather than addressing the glaring issues with allowing such a line to be said by a child.
And now here's a clip of Ryan and Blake's 7-year-old daughter Inez, who played Kid Pool, and what she had to say.
Deadpool Prime here.
Poor guy.
Our fight isn't with you.
When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth.
It's astonishing how quickly this story has been brushed aside by some outlets, especially when similar behavior has been called out in others. Why are Ryan and Blake's actions being overlooked while others face scrutiny? The fact that Ryan wrote this script for his 7-year-old daughter and practiced with her repeatedly raises serious ethical questions.
That's Kid.
Guiltily, that is my daughter,
I'm
Inez.
so sorry we have to admit that.
And I am Father of the Year over here for allowing her to say such language.
What kind of father would feel comfortable with that? The situation is made worse by the example it sets for their daughter and other families who might look up to them as role models. It's not just about one bad parenting moment. It's about the broader message it sends. By allowing their daughter to perform this line and defending it afterward,
She really didn't want to say, and then came back later and said, I want to say it now, when I started looking at other people to play
Yeah,
it.
but Ryan, to our discredit, we made Nezzy do I'm not shitting you 70 to 500 versions of that line.
Yeah.
Ryan and Blake are inadvertently teaching her that it's okay to push boundaries in ways that could make others uncomfortable. This isn't just about comedy, it's about what's appropriate for a child. As public figures, they should have known better. And Blake's involvement in this skit has not only raised questions about their parenting choices, but has also shown a disturbing lack of accountability. Ryan's quick defense of the skit, paired with Blake's tacit approval, reveals a troubling disregard for their child's well-being in favor of maintaining their public image and careers. When you criticize others for their behavior, like Ryan has done with Justin Baldoni, while engaging in questionable actions yourself, it comes across as hypocritical.
Mind you, she was not comfortable doing this at first. They forced her to do so. And Blake Lively was definitely on board with this because she was also in the movie. Blake, Inez, and their baby was also in the movie as Baby Pool.
The aftermath of this incident has been telling. Instead of owning up to the questionable judgment in allowing their daughter to say such an inappropriate line, Ryan deflected, treating it as a normal part of their family dynamic. This kind of behavior from a parent, especially one in the public eye, is deeply concerning and reveals a worrying lack of boundaries. As the dust settles, the question remains, will Gigi Hadid continue to distance herself from Blake Lively for good? The signs are pointing toward a significant shift in their friendship, and it's clear that the fallout from Blake's actions is far-reaching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think about this unfolding drama.